Hi, I'm Brendan Savage from Kulin. We've probably been farming a bit more conservatively in the last few years. I'm embracing my love of livestock, probably gone back to a more conventional system but using new technologies within that. We've got stung by frost a lot in the past, so our cropping rotations is only barley and oats with only 40% of the farm committed to that at this particular moment, and embracing livestock for the balance with about a 50-50 shedder flock and merino crosses. Shedding livestock seem to be the future, so really they are small cows, aren't they? So we're trying to get high fecundity and produce fast-growing livestock with well-managed, nutritious pastures. We've invested heavily in setting up legume pastures, particularly subclover in this region goes very, very well. But the subclovers, with that mix of chucking a bit of tillage radish in there and using nutrition sprays and making sure we're getting every bang for our buck out of those legumes. So I'm making sure all the trace elements are up to speed so that we're getting as much N in the ground for the following crop, so we're not having to use as much N there, and growing as many roots and producing a pasture that the sheep do very well on. But sap testing of pastures and crops has been pretty critical in identifying any limiting factors. So, for example, like in our pastures, we've concentrated in the last 4 to 5 years on a nutrition spray of, selenium, cobalt, copper, moly, mag, soluble calcium, and we do that all over all the pastures these days to try and get every bang for your buck out of them. We had a lot of success with lucerne for a fair while. Millet's an interesting plant. It's not like a summer weed. It seems to do something interesting to the soil if it's managed properly. Last year's millet crop was a failure, but it still produced one of the best crops on the farm this year with very limited nutrition as far as a synthetic program goes. We did a case study with DPIRD 18 months ago to analyse the returns on the farm running a conventional low input model. With a hybrid mix. Ag Department's just confirmed that we're going to run a methane project starting 3rd of December to actually explore some of these ideas that we think about creating efficiencies within the rumen. Western Australia is notorious for poor CEC soils, which makes it difficult to grow crops without high rates of P and N. So we've concentrated on soluble calcium for a long time, in furrow in the crop and on nutrition sprays in the winter time. We haven't used any urea for probably close to 20 years. We use ammonium nitrate instead at low rates, and we banned tiny amount of 1 litre of UAN. I'm about efficiencies of the rumen and efficiencies of the plant and business resilience. I'm not interested in losing $1 million when it doesn't rain. I suppose my long-term objectives have always been resilience. We went through some bloody tough years when the kids were little, and the only thing that kept us sane, I think, was the kids. You'd come home from a tough day, the farm's a mess, bloody it hasn't rained, drought, frost for 18 years it nearly went for, on and off. So my objective's always been to leave a business with resilience. We're not interested in breaking records, we're interested in just maintaining a solid cash flow year in, year out, and leaving the soil in a better position, so that you don't rely on synthetics. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with conventional fertiliser, we still use a lot of it, but use it in a well-mannered way so that you're not destroying structure and taking advantage of the opportunities to, produce something from the soil's biota rather than just what you put on it. In the good years we're probably a little bit behind, but over a 10-year program, the idea is to build resilience so that the lows are not as crushing. And with the model, like a conservative farming model embracing livestock, yeah, sure, we've been through a couple of tough years with livestock, but we've come out of it pretty good, I reckon. We'll have a good flock, and we didn't sell sheep for poor prices, so because of the conservative nature of our business. We started discussing years ago about building a brand. So when we started looking for partners for a beer project, I was told that I was an idiot by several brewers for some of the ideas I had. So we decided we needed to build a brand. So my wife started to do that professionally, and I'm not into social media, but she hasn't done too bad a job, I don't think. So now we supply the 4th largest brewer in WA with most of their malt, and it's been exciting, and They make the best beer in Australia. We were happy to partner with them and they've worked with us, and it's been a successful relationship. I'm more interested in the nutrition and that side of the story, whereas some of the market's more interested in the emissions and ESGs. So the trade-off was that, Rocky Ridge partnered with us, and they've done very well out of it. Yeah, we've done all right out of it as well. So Rocky Ridge, they've embraced the single origin, Tolga Farm, and certified sustainable and low emissions. So you've got the trifecta there that you can go to the market with to give you a point of difference. The deal was, if we're going to do this, it's got to be good beer, and we can bring home all of Hamish's beers, like all of his main core beers, and everyone will drink them. So yeah, they are very drinkable. It's been a fun relationship, it's been win-win. They've embraced our farming model. It's good fun to drink a beer that has come from here.